Right, we'll be going live in just a minute.
Because it was got from another meeting.
Okay, well, firstly, welcome to this meeting in September the 20th. Apologies for absence.
Yeah, apologies from Councillor Armour, Councillor Gately, Councillor O'Donoghue and Councillor Schaefer.
We're all happy to accept them apologies.
Point of information is it is the 25th of February.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. It's just calculus.
It's
Yeah,
the
it's just calculus.
first instance now.
Okay, thank you. Minutes of the last meeting, have you read them? Any questions or concerns you have around them before we sign them? Correct, we'll just have a peek at them. Haven't. Lead I've read them, look. Yeah, I would commit as minutes and last minute, not mine. Are you happy with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Both agree then?
Yeah.
Thank you. All
Can we have
agree?
a quick vote, please?
We're going to vote. Voted off.
Thank you.
Right.
Been on the ground.
Right, then we'll have budgets. Take a look at your budgets. Nothing, I don't think particularly alarming there. Where we are, if there's any questions, variance or accuracy or so that we've spent or not spent, please say. John?
Just wonder what we spent the youth project money on.
The youth projects money goes on the summer basketball and the Buckingham play days.
Oh, right, okay.
It's further down in the agenda, John,
Yeah, okay, right.
which makes sense. But thanks for that. It's further down in the agenda, so that'll be answered. We go on to the next thing, which is receive the Deputy Chairman Clerk progress in the budget lines. This is the next item on the agenda. Any comments on that? John?
I was wondering whether we should just leave the art trail line in because of, I appreciate nothing's happening next year. It will happen the year after. One of us leave it in with the tourism.
It's just the lead time, the accountancy, we wouldn't have a zero budget line. We're not planning on putting anything in or moving a new budget through,
Okay. All right.
just having.
Okay.
Well, we haven't taken a decision on it anyway, so we haven't taken necessarily a decision on it. Most of the other stuff which we've got in the budget are things that we generally do, although we may be having a new budget line introduced because we'll have a report on November on the proposals to do the group so that may be worth just leaving that budget heading in and it can come the other one where we just have a new budget heading.
We budgeting that we will have a street fair income and expenditure, but it'll have a different name from the summer art trail, so.
Yeah, okay. Members happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Members are happy. That's all we need to know. Right. There's a report. I'll vote on the recommendations. Okay. You're going to vote on it. You're going to vote on you abstaining. Okay, right. Right, in which case you've got a report on best kept village, which we obviously were not chosen as best kept village. Are there any comments on both the report and the bench coordinator? Do you want anything to sound it, Amanda, before you get into your report?
No, just that we scored 15 out of 15 for our floral displays, which a lot of people commented on, you know, members of the public saying how vibrant the colours were, but
I mean, I think these things are quite hard. John?
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed by this because I don't see why we were marked down so far down on shops and pubs. I mean, the White Hart is looking amazing, for example, with its flowers outside.
Yeah, I think they look
Right,
really.
business slows down. That's the reality of current market. The King's Head looks great, Villiers looks great, and so on. I'm, you know, and the Grand Junction and so on. I'm just a bit distressed that they've marked us down, and which shops disappointed them. It just seems a bit unfair. And also, there's no comment, unless it's not on the report, as to why it was so low. It just seems a bit
What they're looking
curious, I guess.
Yeah.
And it was, yeah, it's just, and the green spaces, I mean, we've got some great green spaces. I fail to understand why we lost points on there, and I would suggest that we write to the committee and say, you know, we'd like some further feedback, because we'd like to improve our score. Could you say why we were marked down so low on that?
I'll leave that there for a minute, Andy.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, I agree with you, Councillor Harvey. What's the criteria for shops and pubs? What are they comparing with? What towns, where are we stand? What improvements can we make? We can't really with the shops and pubs. It's not in our power to do that. But the rest we can do. But yeah, shops and pubs, difficult one.
Thank you, Andy. Frank?
Can I just suggest that perhaps the shops and pubs thing, we've got boarded up Prezzo. We would have had boarded up bin at that point.
Yeah.
The M&K building was would have been empty, and they hadn't even started working on it at that point.
Yeah.
So I would suggest that those three fairly major premises would have probably been detrimental to our marking.
I go along
which is very
I go along
unfortunate.
the market helps in the sense of the umbrellas outside, which are deteriorating our a nice.
But it's also like there's still shuttering on the windows at the side as well.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't look
But
great.
I think John's point on the parks
Yeah.
disgusting.
No, absolutely.
Because
Well, if it's something to do with the break and play equipment down by the athletic, then that's
Yeah.
Brooks Council's issue, isn't it?
Well, that was we looked at that when you pointed us that out at the weekend.
Yeah.
For members who weren't there, when we were doing the river, we noticed that the play equipment's not very well taped off, and it's just whatever safety stuff they put on it's not there, and notices are hanging all over the place. And
Just to update, I have put in a fix my street report on it, and said that it's not well signed, that it's supposed to be out of action. The notices have come down. The notices aren't particularly accessible for the young people who the play equipment is designed to be using. So I have
well, that's good.
flagged it up with Bucks Council.
John.
Yeah, I still think we should be requesting feedback though. So which town of our size won? And I guess I'd be interested to see which towns have won consistently over the last, say, 10 years. And, you know, are there any hidden biases in here? I mean, I'd like to know, is it Cheshire, is it, I don't know, High Wycombe, whatever.
I think it was Wendover. Wendover seems to be coming to mind.
I just think a bit more feedback than just the sheer number is, you know, because all the stuff that the text we've got is positive. Well,
okay.
I know we still got 80% that should be at first. If we're, you know,
A
studying.
good university degree, yeah.
Uh,
Obviously, this is higher than a university degree, or perhaps the people who are doing it score it differently to that. So, are we suggesting so that we'd like feedback on the areas in the green spaces? What was the issues in water?
So I wouldn't say, and we're keen to defend our green spaces. We did score 86% on that, so it's the same average score as we got.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're not saying anything wrong with them, we're quite.
I'm saying that they should have scored better.
Better.
But it was still a very healthy 86%.
Yeah. Well, I suppose if you got an 86%, that would be more than a third, wouldn't it? If we're using John's university degree and everything. Okay, so the areas of the town centre, I think it would be worth asking them at the time they visited, was it the premises should have closed? But of course, we have no authority over those premises anyway. We can't actually open the premises and close them down. So if they're scoring us for a shop closed down or a pub closed down, we haven't got the authority to open that pub and run it. So that's a bit an unfair score, really, and that's part of the national economy, isn't it? In which we don't actually run it in Buckingham Town Council. So I think some clarity around those issues, if it was that, would be good, because maybe we could encourage the landlord to put paintings in the window of people in pubs if they're not in there or something. You know, some towns have done this. You see it, don't you, in some towns where when they are closed and are boarding, they'll put something which is attractive up there. You see it if you walk around. Not that I go shopping much, but I've seen it in Milton Keynes Shopping Centre, that when a premises is closed, they put something up which makes it look very attractive. So it doesn't look unattractive because it affects the retail businesses either side of it. So if we got that feedback, maybe we could write to the owners and ask if they consider doing that, because we have no control when they'll be relet or what they will do, because we had the discussion over M&Co, didn't we? And that's now up and running, and I went in it the other night and it looked quite big. Very busy. So that's clearly what a successful business. A nice lot of young people working in there, jobs for people, so that's got to be a good thing.
It was packed tomorrow at Boston on Saturday.
Yeah. So is that the only thing we want to ask?
Just a feedback so we can improve, as Councillor Harvey says.
General feedback,
Yeah,
not a criticism.
so that we can improve for the next time.
Yeah, and where, so for interest then, what towns what areas are we competing against in that because we would actually go in the large village section, not the town for some reason. So I don't think we're done as a town. I don't know why, but we just think perhaps we're going in the wrong category. If you walk around Aylesbury town centre, there's quite a lot shut. Amanda
will know, but the category is divided by population.
population.
So we fall under it's the Cllr cap.
Yeah,
I think the next
Which
step
was,
up
which was Wendover was the winner of.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's 12,000 plus, isn't it? I think.
It might be for our own interest. Somebody look on Google Earth and see how many green spaces they've got in Wendover. I can't actually imagine there is as much as there is in Buckingham. We're very lucky. We've got, as the town clerk says, all our green spaces are well managed, and we don't get lots of complaints about anything really. So yeah, is that agreed then? Propose, second it. John's going to propose that we write them. Right, everybody's seconding, so we'll take Andy this time. Andy seconded this time. Right, that's agreed then. Right. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, we're going to agree the recommendation.
Yeah, agreed.
Hands, show hands then. Hands, we'll do dishes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, hanging baskets and planters. You have a report on there. Would you like to take us through that?
Do you want to do? Would you want to give the introduction?
Well, the report was written by Steve, and I was on annual leave last week, so I'm not quite sure.
You did the background, please. So if you want to introduce what we normally do with the.
Yeah, we have a 3-year or 4-year contract with Spotwood Plantscape, Juberlians, and there will be planters.
Yeah.
So some summer planters come in end of May, and are here until end of September, beginning of October, before the first charter fair comes in.
Yeah,
They plant them up with summer bedding plants, and this year we chose the oranges and reds, and that's the nice vibrant colours.
yeah.
Everything. And then the hanging baskets are done through Preston Visit Nurseries. And we have 60 of them in the summer and 30 for the winter.
There was a discussion around the hanging baskets, and we resolved that within the report about the charging and non-charging of the hanging baskets.
So the recommendation of the report is that we stop seeking donations.
Yeah.
Because that way of doing it essentially makes our budgeting a bit tricky, because we don't really know how much money we're going to get. Potentially we raise invoices. It's it just makes it quite tricky.
Am I correct, Louise, that this is something that was flagged up to us that it didn't make sense in an audit point of view? Are we happy with that?
Cllr would have to answer that question.
It's more that we, and it looks like we've got lots of unpaid invoices.
Yeah,
We invoiced
I knew
everything.
something. In which case, have members got any concerns about it with the recommendation? We're happy to agree the recommendation.
Yep.
They all show hands, right?
Question.
We've just voted on it. You can have a question retrospectively, yeah, but it won't affect the vote.
No, that's fine. No, I was going to like maybe suggest, but we've gone past it now.
Yeah, you voted for it and then asked a question.
Well, I tried to put my hand up before.
Yeah. Did I miss it? In which case I apologise.
No.
Right, in which case we'll come back to a more substantive item on the report, which is the Swan Trail update and action plan, which I imagine members have looked through. This is Sam's report, so can you take us through this, please?
So essentially the Swan Trail has gone very well. There's quite a lot of detail in the report if you're interested in the number of people that have done it, despite the fact that the weather has, I'm sure everyone will agree, been absolutely terrible. So it hasn't been, whereas when we did the Otter Trail, the weather was very sunny the whole way through. So that has impacted numbers a little bit, but every day that it was sunny, there were lots of people doing it. We had plenty of entries into the competition. The concept, sorry, I'm going to just go down to the end. We do have a little bit of an underspend on this project because we made the maps in-house, and also because there was a credit for the Cllr, so that hasn't cost us anything. And the amount that is left is enough to do essentially a thank you event for our sponsors and the artists, including the schools. And that seemed like a good opportunity to get everyone that's been involved in this project together, say thank you for their contribution, because this absolutely is the kind of project that couldn't happen if you didn't have an awful lot of people pitching in to make it work, but also to start the auction so that we can sell off these swans. And that's the proposal in this report, is that we use that underspend to fund that event. I know Sam was looking at dates at the end of October, but she hasn't been able to finalise them yet because they do need, having got rained on a lot, some of them do need a little bit of repair work. So she's working on that at the moment.
Yeah, happy report. Anybody got any comments on the report? John?
I think it's a great idea. A bit of appreciation for those who sponsored the swans. A bit of hype about the auction. We know bad thing. We want to kind of maximise the income from the auction. And all credit to Sam and everybody else who's involved in making it happen. I think it's a terrific thing. I mean, the stats are great. I mean, 12 million steps, about 5,000 people, who took part in some shape or form. I mean, that's pretty good. Really good.
Any other members got any comment on it? Just I didn't read it in the report. If I missed it, I apologise. That when we auction them off, we'll have a return budget from that auction. We will have to decide as a committee how we use that budget, because it's in our budget. which we can come back to that at a future date, with some suggestions around that. I think it might be tonight. Because if we only get £5 for the auction, it would be not a very long conversation, would it? I anticipate that. So, just from my point of view, are we going to market the auction the same way we market the Swan? Because it seemed to have a regular interest, and there was a large pickup on the social media bit. People seem very happy to engage with it. Do we know when we're doing the auction, those people who were involved in the social media bit, we have their details, we might not have done, but they would have given us permission for some of the photographs, because there were minors in the photographs, so we would have had permissions for. Would it be worth at least notifying those people that the auction's taking place?
We can't really do that under the terms of GDPR, but
Okay.
we'll certainly advertise it widely,
Yeah.
and if they're happy to be on social
Because
media.
they showed a real interest in it, didn't they? You see what I mean? And but anyway, in which case I would happy to agree recommendation.
Yep.
Hands for that then? That's jolly good, jolly good. It brings us on to the initial thing on the Pancake Race. There's a report attached. Members want to look at that. That's questions and some whatever. So Amanda wants to talk us through that one. Members look at it. Right.
Okay, Pancake Races this year were held on Friday and were very, very successful. They were during half term. And at the meeting in April, it was recommended that the Pancake Races are held during half term again next year, 2024. We've had an email from Will Pearson G at the church saying to us, you know, by holding them on Shrove Tuesday, it didn't really work because that's the church lunch, and the amount of people that take part in that, and with them being elderly people, a lot of them are dropped off, and so the traffic at the church, there was quite a bit of it, as those that were up there witnessed. So we would like to do the Pancake Races on the Thursday during the half term. It works out best for the staff in the office that would work the events, and with the church.
Members got any concerns around that? John?
Couple of queries. According to my diary, February the 16th, 2024 is a Friday, not a Thursday. And the Throw Tuesday on the 13th of February, not the 14th. I think the question is whether we hold it on a day other than a Tuesday, a Throw Tuesday. So are we clear that Throw Tuesday is definitely on the 13th?
Yes, it is.
It is, yeah.
It is Throw Tuesday, okay. Well, my suggestion is because of the tradition of Throw Tuesday, and that is half term as well, that's half term too?
Is that it?
Yes.
Why not have the event in the afternoon?
Problem there is the lighting. We would have to hold it the minute they come out of having their lunch, which I think is around 2 o'clock. And by the time everybody's gone and people have got up there to do the races, we're going to be limited on the light because it gets dark early. And Louise and I discussed that, didn't we?
I'm quite happy with Friday the 16th.
I thought it was Thursday the 15th.
No, it isn't.
Okay.
It was the Thursday we're talking about, I thought.
Yes, you're right, there is an
Yeah.
error there. It says
Yeah.
Thursday the 16th, but it should say Thursday the 15th.
Oh,
Okay.
you want Thursday the 15th as opposed to Friday the 16th.
I mean,
Yeah, apologies.
I mean, the logic around the timing of it is, and one of the things which was evident that this year that, well, there was it was very well attended, and as we're getting children up there to run it, it'd be more better to have a more child-centric race
Yeah.
than an adult event.
Yeah.
I think because the adults seem to dominate the event. I would like to propose that we make it a child-centric event this year. Adults can watch, because if there's lots of races for adults in, really, it's about inviting the schools and the children up there and having a child-centred event. I think it's important that we do that, and then if not many people come, we'll revise it another year. Would you happy with that proposal?
I still want adults to participate because the mums still want to.
The mums?
And no, everyone, all the adults, it's just a fun day, basically. If the adults want to do it, let them be a child for that one day. It's a fun event. That's how I see it. The children have their age groups, and then the adults have theirs, and.
Or mother and parents, or father and parent. John?
I don't think we're restricted to parents or grandparents. I think anybody who wants to take part as an adult should be okay to, because some people want to do it because it's a traditional thing. And I'm sure the children enjoy seeing adults all year, but sometimes with their lives, and that's a good spectacle for children to watch as well. So I don't agree with your suggestion.
No, I think there's a comment.
To avoid the adult races, because they are really the most popular. There are more adults on the races than there are children, generally speaking. Maybe we can have more children races, maybe some narrower age bands, perhaps.
I just noticed that some of the children, there's a lot of children, and there's a lot of adults, my main concern is it's not that wide of area, and people moving down where it is, but Louise.
And just to add that we agreed in April that we would make the classes smaller because it was so popular last year. We said that we put a limit on the number of people that could race at once. If you needed to, we do 3 races in one category, just to make sure that everyone had enough space. And
That's really what people running into each other. Okay, so in which case, are we happy to agree with recommendations? That show hands?
With the corrected date.
With the correct date, yeah.
okay, so we've agreed that it's Thursday, the 15th of February.
And knowing we've agreed that, are we all right with one person? No, that's a different event. Yeah, we're all right with that. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, events review. Pretty much did Buckingham and Bloom in the report, unless members want to read. Music in the market, yeah, what do you use in that? Well, I'm not sure who was there. I know Councillor Harvey was there. He was there most of the day and was down in the evening cleaning up, weren't you? You got any views on it, John?
No, I think it was great. I think it was good, a good event as always. I think it was a well put together event. I think I was more at Bandjam than I was at Music in the Market. I think
This is meant to be music Bandjam.
No.
Oh, okay, music in the
yeah, I was
market.
at Bandjam. I don't think I was at Music in the Market.
No, you were, John. Yeah. Well, music in the market went well. It seemed a lifetime ago now.
That's good to say.
That's
The
probably
dates
why
would be helpful on the report.
it would see.
So take one.
I think it went off with no hitch. It was various, the acts were various this year, and there were some sections, different types of performance. And I think it would probably, there was some dance stuff, and I think it was fairly interactive, which suits that event. And I think we probably a bit late in thanking them in the event, but be happy with them just to note that report and make sure that we belatedly send on our thanks to them for what they did.
Great.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. Right, Buckingham in Bloom, which I jumped to because I moved because it was after this. Are you members happy? We probably discussed it, or is this the competition?
This is the
It's really paid, we should discuss it. And, I tend to think of the two things being one together. Anybody got any comment on the competition?
I would just say I'm intrigued about the garden update competition being so enthusiastically taken up. I've seen some of those, the farmers do, and great. It would be nice to see some photographs from the winning set, I don't think I ever saw those anyway, so you could circulate.
Okay, yeah, I'll circulate those tomorrow.
Just to see what people's artistic experience was, I think, rock on, great idea.
I would say I did see those of them in the library. There was some in the library out on the front.
They put them out after the competition.
Yeah, and they looked very intriguing. I was, it was quite, there's a lot of work on it, those, to be honest, and I think it's very something you can do as a family or with children again. I think that was a good initiative. So, and they looked quite real, actually, didn't they? Bonsai gardening sort of thing. I thought they were quite rewarding. Okay, we're happy just to nothing to vote on there.
There are some recommendations.
Where are those?
But we can do them.
Yeah, go down that way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there are there's a recommendation that at accessible level, we're going to agree the first recommendation 1.1.
Yeah, agreed.
And there's not another one, is it?
Yeah,
1.2.
garden and plate competition.
Okay, yeah, 1.2. We agree that recommendation.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right, that's that one. Now we've done the recommendations.
I'd just like to say thank you to Margaret and Ryan for coming round in the rain and doing the judging. It was
Yeah,
absolutely
what
tipping it down, wasn't it?
Absolutely painted down that.
Absolutely.
It was the
tipping it
wettest
down.
day of the year, wasn't it? Yeah. Can we agree to record our thanks in the minutes to everyone who judged? I think that's a very good point. It's so long
To
ago.
Margaret for the very appreciated hot drink when we got back
Yeah,
to
I
her.
think it was how do I put it? It was a very wet weekend, wasn't it? Okay. So we agreed those, we agreed the recommendations, and we agreed to put our thanks in a minute, because I think it's actually worth it. Going out in the rain isn't great for anyone, is it? Which case we got on to the fringe. There's some comments in the report for the fringe. Basically, this is Amanda's report. You want to take people through it? It's a long time ago now. Seems a lifetime ago, the fringe.
The Fringe week was in July, back end of July. We had everything from a jumble sale to a comedy night. And the jumble sales, first time that we've done one, and we had so much stuff donated to us, and also we collected some stuff, surplus stuff from the charity shops. It was held at the Salvation Army, and we raised £308.05, which was divided between Salvation Army and then the Mayor's Charities, Jedediah and the Buckingham Food Bank. There was a showing of Puss in Boots at the film place, of which 30 people attended. Family Fun Day, which we hope forms part of the Fringe Week every year. Approximately 300 people attended that. And there was everything from football to traditional games and music. Buckingham Play Days, the first session fell into the Fringe Week. And Pauline Quirk's Performing Arts Academy came along, and they did some puppetry. They made puppets out of the rain, out of newspaper, rain. And then ECDI, they also came along and encouraged people to decorate cookies, and Ryan was there for some of that. Art in the Market, Melvin from Lemon Pop came along. He did therapeutic art booklets to help attendees design and create a canvas that represented themselves. That's a free event, and that goes down well. I think this is our third year, I think now, aren't we, or second year?
It's actually only a year old, but
We've
we've done it 5 times.
It is very well attended.
With our first year still.
It is very well attended.
Yeah, there's a certain councillor that I think really enjoys it.
I sit and scribble and paint. I generally leave one painting either for children to draw on or to go back to the office. I'm not sure what they actually do.
And then on Tuesday evening, we had the Oxford Fiddle Group in the Radcliffe Centre. And the audience was treated to a performance of Appalachian dancing. Lynn comes along most years and does the dancing, and people really enjoy that. There was crafts in the Chantry Chapel. The National Trust hosted that, and been busy all day long. A lot of the visitors had come along, and it was another free event. And they were able to look at the books that were on sale there as well. And then the Now and Then Theatre Workshop is on Friday, and that is run by Mr. Collier.
That's Wally.
Yeah, he used to teach at the drama at the Royal Latin School. And they had 2 sessions where you could go along and basically like the rehearsals, and then they did a performance in the afternoon. And that was free to the public as well. Then there was the comedy night. That's the Tanlaw Mill. And the names. Oh, I can't pronounce the names of the comedians. The second paragraph down tells you who they were.
They were very funny.
They were all very funny, yeah. Really nice.
Anyone who wasn't there, I thought that I rather endeared myself to the chap that reading with 2 plastic bags, and he stood there with these 2 plastic bags, which looking like it just stepped out of some comedy period from the 70s, and then out of these bags was much of the stuff that he used to make comedy, and then he was doing mind reading, and it reminded me. And what was so nice about him, he actually made me laugh, and there was no absolutely like a nice sort of no language, nothing. He was just funny with his engagement with the audience. It was like a sort of one of those people who used to see on television years ago, that they could make people laugh without having to resort to
He was
language.
similar to Michael Crawford.
Yeah. Or Harry Worth.
That's showing your age, Robbie.
Well, let me show my age.
Harry Worth was around. In the possibly in the 50s, actually.
Yeah, but
So he used to do that thing where he'd stand by a shop window and put one leg up.
and his humour was based upon the old slapstick type sort of humour, with just subjective humour and not verbal humour. And I thought he was excellent. And
I'm waiting for Victor Borger to come up next.
I don't really know what he is. You're showing your age now. But no, I must say though, from my point of view, I think we should record agreement in minutes. Thanks for all the staff commitment to all those events. There were many, and I think most stuff is very well attended. Councillor David.
I'd just like to say that I thought the Now and Then Theatre Company production was great fun.
There was, I think that we also one of our councillors took part actively in the Now and Then Theatre Group. Anyone wants any photographs of it? I have some. And I turned out to find that not only were they there, they were part, and the vice chair and was actually taken to the stage. So we have a actor stroke thespian on it, and I think it's not no short. I think it's not the 3rd time you've been on a stage, is it?
No.
But it was rather funny, and it was rather fun, and it was all. What was nice about it, they'd obviously worked on it during the day. Everyone had done a section on it, and it was live theatre in the sense it was put together there, and I think that
the children that were involved as well that had come along.
Yeah.
There was, I think there was me and one other adult that had just showed up. That that ended up part of it. But there were some the children that were there were absolutely brilliant. They were outstanding. Yeah,
I think it's.
and I think really enjoyed themselves.
If he can make as much fun for the community in doing that event and people go to it, that's really good, because any person who does that builds up confidence to do other stuff. So yeah, it was generally good event, and the fun memory. I think we had the most people ever to the Oxford Fiddle group this time. I think we've done. Well, I think it's probably technically.
There was.
No, I know Aunt Mari was there.
Oh, yeah, you were there.
My brother from Canada.
Yeah, your brother, right? Your brother was here, wasn't he, from Canada? Which was excellent. So I think all in all, we did what we said on the tin. Councillor Harvey John.
Yeah, I think it was a rich mix of different events. I think possibly one of the best fringe events we've had. So all credit to everybody involved.
Yes, I agree with you.
Together. So I think it's really. I didn't get to many of the things, but ones I did get to were really, really well done. Couple of points. One is we need. I'm sure the learning's already been done, but there was a query about the start time for the trolley line, that people turned up early like me, expecting things to happen within a short time. So I think we need to sort that out for any future time.
Yeah.
And secondly, I'm still of the view that even though it was very good, I still think it helps to have a theme on which to hang, people can partake in. So I would propose that we ask the Fringe Committee to think of the theme for next year and make that just something people would just be prompted by in some way. Local shops can get involved. It's a bit like the theme they have for the Christmas parade. It just tickles people's creativity a bit. So I think like kind of watching line, which you can hang ideas on.
Yeah.
I would propose that we ask Fringe Committee to come up with a theme for next year. But carry on doing this. This was great.
So supporting that recommendation, shall we arrange early in the future a meeting to discuss the outcomes in more detail of the Fringe, the type of things that we've got there, and sort of a broad structured agenda. If there's any new ideas of things that we haven't thought of, people we might want to contact, the things that we didn't know took place during the week that we could have included in the Fringe. I think that'd be quite good. And anything that officers have noticed that we didn't notice. It's just, but I must say that I do think that one of the things that you are watching it, and it's all credit to the officers for doing the event, is you want to turn out to the art event, because I think with this economic climate we've got now, parents are really searching for stuff to do with their children, and it's a free event, and I think and birthday art is easy. They can turn up in quite good numbers. And Councillor Davies.
I was very aware of the number of posts on Buckingham Recommends, Buckingham What Matters to You, and various other local Facebook groups. Parents asking what was going on that day for children in the town. There was, so I think it's a very well needed service for families and children in the town.
Yeah, I think it is. So are we going to agree recommendation, and then the top one at the top of the page, there might be something else. Agree the recommendation, and then which would agree first? Is that agree?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Second point then, you're going to make a proposal that we meet along the lines of internal debrief and find a name for the Fringe next year. Is that what you're proposing, John?
I'm proposing the Fringe Committee decide on the name for next year.
Yeah, that type of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. They like to propose that, and someone second it. Ryan seconding that. All those in favour?
Okay.
Right. Job done, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I must admit, I think I didn't miss much of it some reason. I think I was at most of it. Although it just seemed a lifetime ago now. World's moved so quickly. Buckingham play around the parish. There's a report on that. I don't know whether any members, you know, if you're working full time, it's not easy to get to these things in the day. Any members got any comments on the play around the parish?
My granddaughter enjoyed it.
Well, that's
Even though
good.
it's a bit wet.
If your granddaughter enjoyed it, that's good enough reason to do it again next year. Then.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I thought it was a very good event. Like it's good to see so many people out there. Councillor Gately was there as well. Robin was there. You know, we had that was the play next, wasn't it?
You were in the
Yeah,
past.
it's the first.
Yeah,
You
that
were in
was
the past because we had
got you now.
the
It wasn't a
diversity group were doing a small marquee, and I think you were there with
yeah.
with Margaret, wasn't you?
But it was good to talk to people. The families seem to have thoroughly enjoyed it. And, yeah.
Despite the weather, they still came.
I was just going to say that despite the fact that on that first one, it was absolutely pouring with rain. We were there with Ryan and the other councillors, and there were lots of families still turning up, just fully dressed in rain suits. They were very prepared to go on all of the activities in pouring rain.
One of the positives I picked up from it was a new organisation we're working with, and it is an absolute positive. I walked round it just to see what was going on, and they very soon picked up that I was a man on my own walking around there, and I was quite pleased that they asked me who I was and what I was doing. And I think that is a positive. That they observed that I just walked into this event and without a child, and they weren't rude or anything. They would just say, "Oh, who are you? Why are you here?" And I think that's a good, shows that the organisation is practicing what they preach, and they're watching people there. They've got no reason to know who I was, and I thought that was a really good thing to do, and I think that's a credit to the organisation that we've got doing it, because that's what I want. If they hadn't questioned me, I would have seen it as a negative. But I didn't do it to catch them out. I just did it because I'm nosy and wanted to walk around and see what was on display. But so are we happy that we've done that? And also, before we do it, I think a member's happy that people realise it's us doing it now and not Buckinghamshire Council.
Oh yeah, hope so. We put the banners out, didn't we?
And what, on the basis that it was a success, are members happy to do a press release saying that we're grateful for the people doing it, the organisation that did it, and also to inform the public that the town council will be doing this again next year, and because of the necessity for it in the community, and because it supports parents parenting children. Would you think that was a reasonable?
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Yeah, agree.
Is that agreed?
Yeah.
But then it reinforces it's our event, not Buckinghamshire's, which is key, really. It's quite strange that they didn't do these events in South Buckinghamshire, so they didn't do them in North Buckinghamshire, instead of taking these events to South Buckinghamshire and giving all those children the opportunity which our children, thanks to the decisions of the committee and council, still have. And I don't know, we had people coming in from the villages because it's difficult for them to do it. But that doesn't matter. Right, in which case, summer basketball, we have a report on there, which is down to you, Amanda.
We did, I think it was 6 sessions of the basketball from July through to the end of August, with 2 additional sessions for the older children. And I think when you look at all the figures, I've got the up-to-date figures here, this is the most successful one that we've had. And I think we've been doing this for 9 or 10 years now with Coach Jenna. As you can see from the report, he was overwhelmed the first 2 days with the number of children that attended. But it seems that we averaged throughout the summer, let's see, about 12 to each event. The Monday, the 31st of July, we had 32 children in the younger session, and 12 to the older one. 10th of August, looks like we only had 8 in the morning, 8 at the younger session, and nothing's recorded for the older ones.
No,
But it was approximately 12 per session.
yeah,
And yeah, I think Coach Jenna was really surprised.
any members observe it or any comments on it? Because this is another event that we did. John, sorry, I didn't see your hand.
I wasn't there to see it. I'm just noting Coach Jenner's comment about how it takes to get to Buckingham. I'm not quite clear what he's saying there. He says something like we will need to have a rethink on how best to meet your goals. What did he mean by that?
I think it was the 2 Thursday sessions that we'd introduced. The turnout wasn't that good. And it costs quite a bit for him because I think he lives at Tring.
Right.
So by the time he's travelled here, put on an hour's session and travelled home, it's quite costly.
The other sessions, the Monday sessions for context are 2-hour sessions because it's the younger group and the older group, whereas the new Thursday ones we added are just the older group. I think we will have to review it before we put in a recommendation for what we've done next year.
Okay.
Are we happy with that?
Yeah, let's review it, yes.
So in which case,
I
go
think
on, Magda.
Councillor Stuchbury and Councillor Harvey will probably remember that these sessions originated from the
Police thing, wasn't it?
yes.
That's it.
What?
I think Councillor Mike Smith, and I think he used to work when we had this thing where we worked with the police about,
Yeah.
and it grew out of that. John was, Councillor Smith, Mike Smith was working to try and do things, activities with the police and whatever, and it grew out of that to try and give young people something to do. And I think we ended up, like most things, when people take the funding away, I think we ended up picking it up because it was we saw the value of it. Mike worked quite a lot on that at the time and got it up and running, and it's been going for a number of years, but under different names and different whatever. Perhaps we should think about flagging it somehow different. And just a question through you, please. The money we pay him is the same if he has 10 people and if he has 6 people, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this question about the cost of coming is a difficult one to understand. Maybe that
I think he knows that it's a single session.
Because he's driving an hour to do an hour session and then driving an hour back again. Yeah,
I agree. I sympathise.
I couldn't quite,
absolutely.
I was looking by per number, not.
No. So I think we might just look at, the days of the week, whether we do have the extra ones on Thursday or whether we stick with just the Mondays next year. We'll look at that.
Okay, that's fine then. So we're going to, I take it members happy to agree the recommendation with and we'll agree that first. John? Thank you. And then are we happy to take the advice that we'll agree that we're going to review this and come back with a report to make it to answer the concerns being expressed? Is that agreed?
Yeah.
Right, that's great. Because then we'll be able to talk about it in a little bit more depth and clarity. And if someone's doing something for us, you need to keep them on. So, well, the dog show isn't going to take much to discuss. The fact that my recollection, we revised. I think the office received a weather warning because it was going to be so hot, and all the people who were going to be involved in it were very nervous about doing anything with animals. And so consequently, we cancelled it. The morning was absolutely scorching when we would have been starting the event. And I think it rained a bit in the afternoon in the end. But I think we have to live with that decision. And maybe members, we can't control the weather, unfortunately. We complain about having it rain. It didn't rain at the event, but it didn't have animals out there, so we're happy to note and agree report.
Yeah. Yes, sorry, I've got a question.
I'll go back to it, don't worry.
Chairman, is there a question?
I've got a question, sorry, before that. is it possible to have a contingency plan that maybe if it can't be held outside, they can be held inside and stay later? Is that possible? Did you have a dog show inside?
Not dogs.
Not really. You ever tried controlling Bob?
No.
Not really, attending an appointment.
We would plan the venue out for the day, and we do have a lot of regular hires, so we,
Yeah.
on the off chance we needed it, we would have to cancel all.
And it is nice out there,
Yeah.
and I enjoy watching the dog.
No, I agree,
Yeah.
just, there's some way.
No.
If it's hot outside, it's going to be hot in the hall as well.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, this is my bad, I moved over Bandjam report, and went into dog show. So are we happy to agree that comments on the dog show, is that agreed?
Yeah.
Right, and then we go back to, Bandjam, which is which you were picking up rubbish, and I think Councillor Willett came and picked up rubbish, and thank you for that. And it was a good day. Right, who's going to take us through that report? It's a verbal, isn't it?
It's verbal.
Okay, that's very easy. I couldn't remember seeing a report. From my own point of view, I thought that it was very well attended. Having the motorcyclists come into town didn't cause any problems whatsoever. In fact, a lot of people came down just to see to actually see the motorbikes, and there was people coming down just to watch that. I thought the town was busier earlier in the day because of that taking place, not just the people on the motorbike, but the people who come down to see them. I met some people that I knew from a previous lifetime, which was great, and had a look at their bikes and thoroughly enjoyed it. I didn't go out on one. I resisted that temptation. But I thought it was an excellent day, and I think we need to agree to meet with, I don't think have we done a debrief with them yet?
And we're just trying to pin down a date to do that, but we
Okay,
will.
so we agreed just to note that, and that we'll do a debrief and come back with a further report on the contractors' views at a later meeting.
Yeah, agreed.
Sorry, before you go. So what, invite motorbikers again?
Well, we can't really,
They were quite an impressive sight.
It
If
was.
you watch them coming up the road or down
Yeah.
from Stratford Road,
Yeah.
you know,
They did.
and the way they closed the roundabouts off beforehand, so
Yeah, well,
they could all come in one go.
technically, we didn't invite them.
Oh,
Technically,
they came themselves.
technically, I happened to be walking around the town and they told me they were coming. So what we basically did is the officers worked with them to ensure that when they come into the town, they knew where to park and whatever. And that was not because it was our event, it was their event, and they were coming anyway. And I think they were very respectful of it.
It was coincidental, really, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was.
yeah. I mean, I do think, should we write to them?
Yeah,
If we can, and thank them for coming to the town and
Yeah.
say what a good thing it was and how the town enjoyed seeing them.
Yeah.
Because so often I enjoyed seeing them. And
I missed them.
I know there's a lot of memories back there. And what was impressive about it was how many different types of bike there were. And then you went down how many, some of them were constructed from scratch. And there was lots of, some of the trikes were all made out of rollers engines. And I was going around looking at what vehicle engines they got in the actual bike. And they made it, and they are impressive because they spent a lifetime making this stuff, and it was their rally. So can I propose that we, again, that's in the seconds it, that we write to them, Brown seconds that all agreed?
Yep.
And secondly, that we seek a further report at another meeting after the debrief. Is that agreed? Thank you. Have I missed anything else?
no. They done the dog show,
Done the dog show, right, in which case we'll go back to
Christmas lights.
10 now.
We're on to 10 now, right, Christmas lights, that was a fun report. Who's taking for, you taking for that, Liz? It's got the dragon in it.
Yeah, it's got the dragon in it. essentially the general plan for anyone who came last year will be fairly similar in terms of the layout. So we will have the page on its side next to the old jail. We want to use the bullpen area for an attraction that people want to come and see. But in a addition from last year, we're also closing the cattle pens area, and then we'll have Christmas market in that area. So it'll be a little bit bigger than last time. Festive Road, for anyone who, people may have seen them at events, especially in the Milton Keynes area, but they create mechanical moving sculptures out of recycled materials. They are extremely impressive up front. I got in touch with them and asked if they had something suitable for Christmas. Their first offer was a sleigh, but we always have the Buckingham table with their sleigh, so we didn't want to repeat that. And their next suggestion was the dragon, because it glows up, so it's lovely and red. It is very interactive. Children like it.
I enjoyed it.
Robin's met one and liked it. And they did offer us a very reduced price to what they would normally charge.
So I take it that we can have the dragon.
It's up to the committee to decide if they would like the dragon.
I like the dragon.
I think a Christmas dragon is just
It's what we want.
exactly a dragon at Christmas, absolutely.
I was just it's absolutely fascinating. I love things like that, and it was interesting. I went and saw it in Bletchley. I was over there visiting friends in Bletchley, and they asked me to this event to eat. And when you see it, it's so amazing the way it sort of moves and so lifelike, and it's all made out of recycled stuff that it encourages the green activities. So are we?
I'll second.
Okay, right. Is all in favour of having a dragon? I'm happy now.
I just say in the report that they haven't done a site visit yet. So if for some reason the dragon wasn't suitable, I would look to find something else from their collection.
No, you have
They
the dragon.
possibly-
I have to admit that one of the weirdest things on council, you know, when I get old and grey, looking back, what was the strangest thing you've ever bought? Purchasing a dragon.
Yeah, well, it was thought of by a strange.
Firing it.
It was just my children were fascinated with it, and I like, and it just tickled my fancy when I saw it. It's just very, when you see it, it's a job to describe it. It's almost lifelike, and it's done art, and I like art, and it's so good to see. So we will make it work. I'm sure we will, won't we, Louise?
My granddaughter will enjoy it.
And once they have done a site visit and confirmed that everything is okay,
Yeah.
but they do have a number of other sculptures. So they have things like they've got big birds and they even have like a solar system. So if for some reason the dragon didn't work out, then for something else that they've got.
So to carry on, we move the Christmas lights control from the Saturday to the
Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we doing social media broadcast of that, because people may have.
We will be very soon. We'll start doing that, but we've got a couple of other events that we need to advertise first. But we have also got a big banner for this year, so that will be up at the cattle pens, and that says remind everyone that it's Thursday.
If you remember, we had that long discussion about moving the event, and we went backwards and forwards with it, but it's basically we're going to start on Thursday because it doesn't compete with any on a weekend when we do it, and we've got the market and the strip down, and it just gives us a chance to have a chance to have an additional market in there, different trade and whatever. We can sort of use that space more inevitably throughout the day, so it will stretch the trade a bit, and also support the town centre a little bit more is what we wanted. And I'm sure the dragon won't be there all day, but I'll be with it when it is. So we're happy with that.
Yep.
Is that agreed?
Yeah.
Christmas dragon.
Christmas
Christmas
dragon. We've
dragon.
done the dragon, but we'll do that, yeah. Thank you. I'm happy now. And I wasn't happy before, I'm even happy now about dragon. Which case, bonfire, we got a report attached. Members read the report. Councillor Murray, have you got anything to say?
No, I think we're on track with this.
Yeah, I know you had a meeting the other day to go through it. I saw you talking.
Just to say that this is going to be my last making torches.
Oh,
So if somebody wants to learn how to be done, please let me know. This is my 16th year.
well, I didn't realise that. It's gone quick, hasn't it? When did we start making torches then?
Before Howard used to make them. Oh, you know, he used to buy them
Buy them.
somewhere. Then they stopped making them and
Yeah,
yeah.
they are quite niche, aren't they? Right.
I'm delighted to see that Cllr is coming back. She did a fantastic display last year. And especially in such heavy rain,
Yeah, I didn't know that.
It was pouring with rain and she was an absolute trooper.
She was, wasn't she? Like, because fire stuff.
So she
they
could
were
do
going
most.
out, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can see the full fiery
Yeah.
team.
Were you, Andy, happy with everything else in the report? Was anything?
No,
Yes. Okay, which case, Lucy,
No, I don't have anything to
in
add.
which case are we happy to agree recommendations in the report?
Yeah.
All in favour? Thank you.
Sorry, just a quick, just looking at it, a quick question. Does the budget include the performer? that we
Yeah.
talked about?
Yes, yes.
It's all in it.
Yeah.
In last year's budget, John, and
Yeah.
It's LED and fire performance at the end.
yeah. And we discussed
Oh, yeah.
in the debrief, we discussed all the issues and whatever, and but the fact that she come having a nice night without any rain, it would be quite nice for her. Doesn't normally rain, although
You have to do your dry dance.
do my dry dance.
Yeah. Your rain dance.
My rain dance, yeah. I didn't win that day. We'll film it one day. Then you won't put it on social media. And there's enough films in Lisa Donohue's collection of me doing things. Thankfully, she's never released.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, in which case we move swiftly on to the skate park report. Oh, yeah, sorry, I missed my motion. Sorry, that's not what I put it on. Okay, number 12. Have you read the report?
Yeah.
I want to, before I talk about the report, the three sections of the report. There's one section which is the slideshow, which was and the other one is their view of what they think Buckinghamshire looks like, and the other one is the response to a written question that I put in over non-inclusion of the Buckingham tourists and into the report. I wanted to see what they'd say, because I thought it'd be more interesting to have opportunity to get a response. And I felt it was would cancel the first question out of what we do. So if members want to give you their views on this, because we spend a lot of money on tourist information, and was personally less than impressed with how much attention they gave to North Buckinghamshire, let alone Buckingham. What are members' views on it? It's quite lengthy. If you go to the slides, which they're attached in a link, it should have been in your agenda. The first link.
Yeah, sorry, Chair, the link is there, and it's an 8-page report, but I see no slides with it.
There is, sorry,
there is a slides on there as well, so it's just those slides on it.
Yeah,
And,
third one down, John.
Sorry, what?
The third link, the second link down, if you tap on the second link down,
Yeah,
it opens up, that's the webcast.
yeah.
If you,
The one under that,
the one under that is slides, John. Just tap on,
visitor economy update.
yeah,
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
slides, it's just quite difficult to do. If members have a look at the slides and you scroll through them and you see this lovely strategy.
So I've got, sorry, forgive me, Chair, I've got a video of the meeting.
Yeah, the one above that, the one above that, it probably, we should have saved it out differently on the electronic agenda.
Can you see where it says the word slides?
Okay, it would help to have bullet points.
Yeah, okay.
It's not clear.
Are
Okay,
you there now, John?
yeah, I've got it now. Okay, just in terms of structure of the, I thought there was all one link. I didn't realise there were actually 4 links to look at. Could I ask them next time we number them 1, 2, 3, 4 and maybe label what they are? I notice it says slides, but it's, I looked at the first, and I didn't realise it was half plus as well.
When we were doing the agenda, it was just putting it on the agenda, so let's mark that down as a bad. And we'll
Yeah, I'm
do
just
that.
saying, I don't want to be overcritical, so.
So we'll do it there.
help.
If you go down to the bottom, if you go down to the bottom of the last but one slide, you'll see where they're putting the information, and you'll see on that slide, try and find Buckingham. And it says, it names Buckingham as Buckingham Village Community Board.
Well, the heat map, it shows up, doesn't it?
Yeah. In the Buckingham Economy Cluster, you look at that, it doesn't actually mention anywhere about Buckingham storage information. This is a report for the whole structure of Buckinghamshire, the way they're going to plan their visitor economy, and it goes into the community board areas, but the whole report and the link above, at no point, and the presentation, at no point did they recognise that there was a tourist information in Buckingham, which I think is, and it gives all the figures of jobs, things employed by it, and the strategy doesn't mention, unless somebody can correct me, doesn't mention Silverstone.
It does mention
It
Silverstone.
mentions Silverstone. What I'm saying is that my beef with it is that if they are doing a strategy and their consultant is putting this together, and unless I can, if you see the written response, they're alluding that they did contact the town council, which I'm unsure who they contacted, about this. To the best of my knowledge, we weren't contacted, because there's lots of information that they could have gleaned from us about the economy, because it's important, I think, that towards information is 1.2 billion pounds in Buckinghamshire, the amount of income it generates and jobs. And to draft a report we didn't recognise the only choice information centre in North Buckinghamshire in their report, I think it's a weakness. I think it's shows that it's the report's quite south-centric. John,
To be fair, it doesn't mention the Aylesbury Tourism Information Centre either.
I don't live in it.
I know, but I'm just saying, it doesn't mention existing actions by either the Aylesbury Tourism Information Centre or indeed ours. I'm struggling to understand what the point of this is. Well, it's taking stock, but I don't know what they're recommending really. other than in very pretty colours.
Good. What I would think that we need to assess, and remember that we will bring a report back at some time in the future before precept about what we actually do, cause information, a little bit about whether we do need to discuss it. If we're going to budget for it next year, we haven't had a proper discussion around it and the value of it to the local economy. This report is giving us an idea where Buckinghamshire feels their local economy is, and I feel that it's less than satisfactory if they're not considering other people's investment in it, which supports the entire economy, because everything counts in tourist information, everything counts in visitor economy, and our tourist information, if you follow the Buckingham website, which we've got, I think it's really good the way it promotes not only Stuchbury, business opportunities everywhere. It does a very active job about promoting our neighbouring communities. It's not so Buckingham centric. It acts quite north regionally and across boundaries, because the whole world doesn't end at Buckingham or begin in Marlow. John.
Well, can I suggest therefore that we do have our own staff who work in the Tourism Information Centre. Why don't we ask our staff, perhaps with support from a member or two, to produce a response to this report by the Lead Councillor, to say, thank you very much for the report, very interesting. Here's what we're doing in line with or in support of, and in addition to the strategy as outlined by the report. And we actually respond positively and use that as a way of asserting we're here, but also input our ideas into the future strategy as well, because clearly we've got some very big, we've got Stowe, we've got Silverstone, not far away, we've got other places like Boston and so on. And Buckingham can be a hub to direct people towards all of those. We've got Stuchbury Chapel and many other facilities local, the old jail and so on. I just think it would be good for, to credit our staff and give them an opportunity to respond.
I'm not against that.
I mean, we can go back critically, Robin, and just say, you didn't mention much about that.
No,
But let's make that a positive thing to say, here's what we're doing already, and here's our plans. Let's see if we can work together to weave them into a strategy that benefits not only Buckingham, but also the wider county.
well, I suggested form a word around if you agree. I think it's got to be a discussion, that's why I worded it as such. Look, we'd say because we do tourism information, we noted your report, and we'd like to point you to the things that we're doing in Buckingham, and send them a short crazy of it. I don't want officers to spend hours writing their report for them.
No, I mean,
I think that's appropriate. And point them to the things in our report and ask them, are they going to include this information in their visitor economy strategy for Buckinghamshire? Is that what you're sort of suggesting?
yeah.
And then if they come,
Let's put our input so that we're working with them
yeah,
to support what they're doing and to look for support from them, saying, what we'd like from you is X, Y, and Z as well. It's going to take a bit of work, but I think we've got an opportunity here, so let's make the most of it.
and members content with that suggestion. No, I'm happy to go with it. I
It's
think
not urgent.
I think it is. I mean, this went to the Growth and Infrastructure Select Committee. I presume that they're going to do a update on this. I did try to check whether they actually contacted us. They didn't. I don't think. And if they did contact us, it wasn't either one of our line officers, so that isn't contact.
We did have, there was a meeting with Louise and Sam, but I don't think it was ever presented to us as being evidence gathering for this report.
No,
No, it's quite a while ago, possibly last summer.
yeah, that wouldn't have been to do with this then.
But it was an
I don't know
interest,
how-
it was an interesting meeting and they were interested in what we were doing. But I don't recall it being about this, but it was a long time ago.
So do you want to go back through how you're suggesting, John, that we're going to write that, suggesting what we do, asking them, will they be included in the visit to economy? And then thirdly, ask them what part in partnership they want to play with our towards information.
Yeah.
The members think that's a sensible way of going about it?
Can I just clarify? So what I have as the proposal there is that we run the Tourist Information Centre, we noted your report, we'd like to point you to the things that we're doing in Buckingham, and we'll ask them in the letter or in the email if they will include this information in their visitor economy strategy for Buckinghamshire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And what interaction they'd like us to thereafter.
yeah, and how can we work together for the betterment of the tourism impact on the business economy and
Yeah, because we might
the
get,
well-being of the place?
we might get out of this, which is part of my thinking is that when we started the road of doing tours information, I think it was probably Councillor Smith who took it to council at the time to actually get us to take it on. And because if it left Buckingham, that was another thing Buckingham lost, and it was good for the trade. I think that we need to work with them. So are we happy to go with what John's? I'm happy to second that, unless other members want to second that. All right, I'll second it. And are we going to vote on that? Okay, and then we'll see what comes back.
Okay.
Hopefully, something more positive than the written response. So I might go to the next grade in the infrastructure committee work programme and do something different, but depending on what the report says. Right, we've got bonfire, we've got motion, skate park, which I jumped over. The report on here for the skate park, who's been on? That's you. Yeah.
So there was a request at the last meeting that we talk about the skate park budget. At the meeting before that in June, we had agreed that we wouldn't do another skate park event, and it is now really too late in the year for us to organise anything else. But I have recommended that if for any reason Bucks don't end up, or the contractors don't end up doing a launch event when the new skate park opens, that we invite Bucks to sort of join with us on a particularly big, good skate park event to celebrate in the summer. I have suggested that we budget as though we're going to run the whole thing ourselves and then see how that conversation goes.
I think we should have an official opening sometime, maybe early spring, when the days are long enough.
Yeah.
And maybe see if we can get some celeb skateboard person. I don't know who they all are, of course, but somebody that will attract youngsters to come along. Or if not a skateboarding person, some other person who's got some sort of connection with skateboarding who might attract a bunch of people to come along and let's make a do of it. Well, it's something in the hall and it's a bit of fun.
I'm not against that. What I would suggest then is that we bring back that's part of the idea, because getting people who are famous generally is expensive. You know, they generally want more money than what they bring, if you know what I mean. Once you get famous, you think that local authorities are cash rich, and this is about children. So I wouldn't want to spend any money on a celebrity, what we spend on making children's lives better. I think we've got our celebrity, we've got the mayor.
Yeah, we can do it that way as well.
I think we have our own celebrity, the mayor, she won't charge us anything. So I think that we'll plan to have an opening art event with it, if that's what you're suggesting, and we'll base it hopefully in the spring, probably.
It couldn't be in this financial year.
Yeah.
No.
And we'd have to think about the
That's what I'm
weather,
saying.
so.
Yeah.
Sometime from April onwards, and we have had skate park event in the past, haven't we?
Yeah,
Where people have been taught a few skills and stuff like that. Something like that, so it's a bit of a
we
skate
had
festival.
one year when the local police officer came and he was really good on a skateboard, actually. He was really good on it. I was partly impressed he was right there. I wasn't, and Lisa filmed it again. I think. Yeah, we have to do that as an addition to it.
So just to clarify, the report recommendation was summer 2024, but the group, what John is proposing, spring.
Well, as soon as possible.
As soon as possible.
It's not.
Yeah, I clarify, because we currently have a budget, I think, of about £905, £50
Yeah.
roughly. So are we looking to take this in this financial year, or would we be looking to do something next financial year, having rolled money over and potentially we budgeted?
I have a ruse on that, and you probably won't like it, but I have a ruse on it. If we do it in this financial year, we have a budget anyway. If it goes into the next financial year, we'll be just effectively budgeting the same amount of money, but it won't actually for the next financial year, so it'll go forward. So either way, we have a budget.
We have, but if you wanted to do an extra special event, I'm just saying your budget is limited.
In which
this year,
case,
900,
before the end of
rolled it to
what
next
I would be doing if we get to the pre-set meeting and the budget still asks 31st of March, it's still this committee's budget. We can commit the budget that we've got in it in addition to that if we want to do an extra special event, but actually put in the pre-set just. So we wouldn't actually, we see where I'm going with that.
No, that's pretty much what I was suggesting.
Yeah.
You could hold on to your £900.
And then what we could do is budget that against what we get in the preset. If we only got £800 in the preset, we'd have £900 to put towards it whenever we can arrange it. And I think earlier than later would be my view, because the children have waited a long time and we had to cancel it because it was broken down, the skate park, and then we had to cancel it because it wasn't working. And I think the amount of time that the council's put into discussing the skate park, the sooner we do it, the better. And the children who asked us to get the skate park meant to be able to bring their children along to it, weren't they? Because it's been going on long, but they're probably parents themselves now.
I would also point out that it's a very much an outdoor event and we are coming into winter, so actually I personally would suggest that leaving it until spring.
Yes, I'm not, but
I'm wondering whether sometime in the Easter holidays might be.
well, that sounds really good.
I think we should tell, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
However, the whole premise of the whole report and recommendation is that should Buckinghamshire Council not be doing anything, then we should. So how are we going to sort that one out?
Well, we're going to do it anyway, and we're going to plan our event because, and if Buckinghamshire Council are doing something, we're quite welcome to join us.
Yeah. Well, it's their land. They can have.
Well,
Yeah,
we can do an event on it anyway.
Absolutely, but I think if we start planning something and then they're doing something like the next day or the same day or whatever else, there needs to be some communication.
You know, based on how long it took them to build it.
Well, that's beside the point, really. It's still their skate park at the end of the
belongs
day.
to the Lions Charity Trust, but yeah.
May I suggest then that we have an aspiration that we will look to hold a skate park event in the Easter term. We've communicated with Buckinghamshire Council.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We can look at dates available and staffing availability. To be fair, staffing availability is something. And then we'll bring a proper report to the committee that's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That makes me happy.
Can I suggest that the communication is worded in such a way as to say, what is your plan, rather than
Because
Yeah.
it would be nice if the kids got both.
Yeah. Because if they're going to do it in October or September, well, we might as well do ours in spring. And if they're going to do theirs in spring, we might as well do ours in October, sort of thing, you know, or whatever. But
We
either
have a
way,
friendly officers works to chat, and then we're going to report back to you to make a decision.
yeah, and then
Thank you, Claire.
yeah, that's a sensible thing. All dignity will be, it'll be a lot better than the cabinet member just in the middle of the park. The skate park. Lovely to see you.
Agreed.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
Right,
agreed,
okay,
agreed.
right, we'll move on to the next item then, which is updates from representatives of outside bodies. Just to say that on those outside, I'm not relating to this, members might be aware that there has been huge concern about the lack of medical provision. On Friday, I will start with colleagues to review why so little has happened, in the sense that to get to why there has been no successful provision of funding in developments for health facilities, and that starts on Friday. Which I think members should know about, because the outcomes of that will be interesting to our community period. But I think that's the most significant thing, I think, this week. There are other things, but they're not relevant for here. Although going to the hospital and getting a dentist appointment and go to a doctor is rather a major event nowadays. You have to plan for it. Rather like booking a wedding, isn't it? Fran?
I went into my dentist in, I think it was in June. It might have been May, to try and book a checkup. And I did get one booked for August 2024.
Right.
Just to let the committee know that there is a Buckingham Youth Centre AGM on the 27th. I've circulated the.
Yes, but the extraordinary general meeting, when they have the year, which is worth noting.
I'm not sure I've seen those, right?
It was sent today because they were received today.
Yeah,
But
I've just on one thing,
Okay.
I did have an enjoyable trip out with the young carers. They took me to an adventure park. No, actually, I was meant to be an adult. They took me to an adventure park. They were looking for an adult, and I was the next best thing. And I tell you what I learned from that is how real valuable that organisation is when you go on an event, and John probably knows, I know he supports young carers. You sit there and watch the value and the effort that goes into that event, and how much planning and how much youngsters react to it. It's always worth, if any member gets any opportunity to do what I did to go in it, please take it up, because you'll learn so much about the value of that organisation and how they do stuff. And yeah, I thought it was top end, really valuable stuff, and that's just because we're talking about that. So just if you ever get asked, please don't turn it down to go on one of those events to support them, because it makes it it's good for being a local authority, a council, to see what other people do. And I learned a lot from it, a hell of a lot. Thank you. Which case we'll move on to 16, which is
15.
15, 16 follows that. Which is the report on councillors' role and lead councillors, which is attached. Have members read the report?
Yeah.
Members got comments on it.
I would say it seems like a really sensible report. If clarity was needed by any councillor or officer about the role of the lead councillor, this should be clear enough. So
Yeah,
good report.
thanks, Claire.
Nothing in it particularly surprised me, but it was
But it did have it. There was this discussion some time back about, and we needed clarity around the roles of councillors in it, and Claire's given us the legal clarity around it, which is difficult to do in a discussion in a meeting. And members can look that up if they want to. And it also shows how we're going to work going forward. What I will ask through Cllr, how would you see this? We have this discussion tonight and we agree. Presume we're going to, I get no feeling we won't do a recommendation. How do you feel this? Because we are only a small group of councillors, and I think that what I would probably think that we ought to do is agree the recommendation for this committee, but then so it becomes counts as the whole council, because what my concern is that we may end up with another conversation about the same thing, that we agree the recommendation for this committee and we recommend that this recommendation goes to full council.
Agree.
So that all members of vote for full council, so they understand their roles. Do you understand my logic there?
Yeah, I do. I agree.
I understand your logic, Chair. I would say I haven't been used more specifically for this committee and use the role of the lead councillor at an event.
Yeah.
And I haven't made my recommendations to note and discuss, as far as I'm concerned. This is pretty much what we're doing now. I've not suggested any changes to that.
No.
In the peers committee, I'm going to suggest any changes either.
But
It would be a different report if I was writing it as a general report for the whole of full council. It's very specific to how the role of the lead council for events.
are you against that?
No,
You're not. So
but what I don't want to do is do a cut and paste.
No.
Because it's not the same.
what I
Yeah.
don't want to do is have, which the council does do, but we've had a discussion in this committee, someone else will have a discussion somewhere else, and then there's no clarity around it. And I think both councils and officers need clarity.
So would you like this to go on the agenda for full council to note?
Yeah.
Purely to note that
Yeah.
this is something that has been agreed by this committee.
Yeah.
And it will go on verbatim without me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then if it becomes an issue, then you'll send a further report.
Yeah, let's not make it.
They're not making work, but on that basis, I think I'm happy with that. And then if there's necessity for you to write a further report, that'll come out of it. Councillor Murray.
Yeah, yes, I agree with what's been said. I'd like it to go to the full council because some of the councillors at the full council may want to later join the events committee, and they will then be aware of what is required.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I record our thanks to Claire for the report?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it was a difficult
Yeah.
thing to explain, and you've done a good job.
Thanks, Claire.
Right, in which case we'll move on to calendar of events, which is self-explanatory. It's a calendar of events. There's nothing different to what we have got here, unless you've got to tell me what it is.
I was only going to add that local democracy event that was due to take place on the 10th of October will now be delayed. We haven't agreed a new date for it yet. That's because the schools are, well, one of the schools has said
Well,
they're not
that's-
available anymore. So.
It will take place though, won't it?
Yes, yeah.
In fact, if it isn't on the 10th of October, that's perfect for me, because I was going to have to rush back for another meeting to be there. No, not that matters. So we're happy that, can I ask that we just, because I know Councillor Donohue's very attached to the event, that if there's a change of event, we just tell her what the time is, and if there's anything other than the discussion, you'll let her know.
Councillor Donohue, who's the lead councillor on this event, so she's been included in the discussion about the possible other dates.
Well, that's fine then, I don't need to, I'm just, I know that it came up as a discussion, I just want to make sure that we don't run all day on it. Thank you. So are we happy to agree those calendar of events?
No,
No, you're not. Go on, John.
let's get the wrong date for Pancake Race.
John.
We need to be up to date with
This is
that.
why we need councillors on committee to read things, spot dates and stuff.
Yeah,
'cause,
Tuesday, then, yeah.
Yeah, you know, if nothing else tonight, you correct the dates.
Well, we did, obviously, we couldn't adjust it until we had the discussion, but
No.
Yeah.
No, thank you. No, I think it's great. What we're here for, isn't it? So we're happy to agree those things?
Yeah.
Let's go hands. Right. Which brings us on to that's the same, wasn't it? Yeah, action list.
no, it doesn't.
Proposed events for next
One more that we haven't dealt with the second part of the meeting, 16.
Well, you're absolutely right, John. I'll put my glasses back on.
But I need to just say something about this.
Yeah. Go on.
Well, I'm still keen, and I know I'm gonna have a particular, I forget, whatever the phrase is, I can't think of it now. Is the funeral fair, good endings fair. It's not on the list. We delayed it, because of COVID, and there was a view that it was not the right time. I didn't agree, but that was the view of the committee. I still think it's a good idea, and I still think it's worth doing. And I'd still propose that we find some place in the next year to have because we've added other things. I mean, often when I've raised this, we can't put more in, we're already at capacity, and yet we're already adding in a street food fair. And we've added in like a small business Saturday and other things that I've got added in there. Which would, when we were talking about the good endings fair before, we've added other things in since. So I would still propose that we find some space somewhere for a good endings fair. Perhaps we could merge it with Halloween or something, I don't know. Maybe a day on the 2nd of November or something.
Yeah. I would definitely get a headline, John.
Yeah, I'm still proposing that, and I would request that we ask the council officers, because I don't want to overload the council with yet another task and so on, but I would request that we ask the officers to go away and do some thinking about this, think about what resources would be required and whether it's possible to put it into the schedule for next year before we sign off on the schedule and say that's it.
I do recall the discussion, John, that we turned it away at the start of COVID, and in the midst of COVID, and we said we will do it at some point when COVID was over, and that was agreed that that's what we would do. So you're absolutely right to bring it up. Are you happy that we bring it back at the next meeting when you've had chance, officers, to look at it and do something then, rather than agree it tonight that we need to look at it against everything else and for officers to come back at the next meeting with a proposal on how we move forward?
May I suggest, why don't we have a chat about putting a motion together for the next TCNE?
Yeah.
With the both of what
I mean,
you're
I think emotionally, I think you're right, John. The reason you were very keen to do it, nobody else wants the sensitivities, so you are right to raise it, and we didn't say we'd do it again. The minute you say we do it again.
I still think it's a good idea, and I think we need to persist with it.
And it was successful. The only thing I'll say, if we do produce any material, we don't put any dates on them, so we can use them again.
I agree. It's a whole way in which we could do it. That would, be zero cost. We did it at zero cost before, so it's not going to add anything to the precept, but it will really add to the well-being of the town, because we still hear stories about people who die without making wills, and the implications about the families that are behind are huge. And anything we can do to prevent that and have other people thinking about, planning for their own demise, and some of the opportunities for doing some imaginative things with ashes and so on. Those sorts of things need to be discussed, and we can be progressive town council.
I also think that we can work into it at the appropriate time, and maybe some more information about our own cemetery.
Exactly.
And that would be a good opportunity to, at that stage, to be able to use it as part of the consultation of the new cemetery, what's going to go in it, and it fits in very well with that. So it's a good idea. So we have to agree the recommendation with an amendment that we agree that you and the town clerk can discuss the good endings and bring back the report.
Okay.
Are you happy with that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you for that, John.
One more item on this,
Go
part 3 says days we mark flag raising. Got Pride. Pride is not just a day, Pride is a month. Can we just make that point, that it is Pride month, which we're talking about, not just Pride Day.
Yeah, all this flag raising, yeah, okay, right, we've got prize
So the
on.
day will be the 1st of June, but the flag should be up for the rest of the month.
So it should stay up for a month, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
It should just not go up.
And it
I
should
don't know what,
And it should be the correct Pride flag as well, with all the colours.
what happened with
The
it.
triangle bit, inclusive.
I can't remember, I have to check the minute that was actually agreed.
I believe the minute said,
The month.
no, it didn't. I think it said the day. But I would have to go and check it.
Can we agree those days? And then if there's anything we need to add addition, very much like your thing, we bring it back to make sure that we word it appropriately. Because there might be a reason that we don't know why it had to come down.
But it is a
Go
month,
back
isn't
up
it?
again.
Pride exists as a month.
Yeah,
And like I say, just, we also need to make sure that we use the
Yeah.
right flag.
I think we might do the
All
right
the
thing.
things here for a flag,
Yeah.
but it wasn't the modern flag. We got the
Would
full flag.
clarify on that, the flag that we are using is the one that was recommended, and is the only one that doesn't require planning permission. It is the.
Really? The other one?
Absolutely.
you have to have planning permission for a prize flag.
Yeah.
I would have thought
Well,
that
not
breached the
really.
Disability Act.
There's a very
Well, on the
restricted list of what flags you can
Oh,
fly without
dear.
permission.
Well,
That's
well, let's look at
that's terrible.
No.
That is
I
terrible.
think we should be flying what I regard as the proper pride flag with all the kind of, diamond bits at the edge of it.
Perhaps that's
I did research this on Twitter.
I'm not going to do that, I'm just saying, I'm amazed.
that's in this day and age, that sounds absolutely draconian. You need to actually have it's treated different than some other flag. It's a sort of, yeah. Well, can we
Okay.
I'd like to, can we have that information through the town clerk circulator, because I'd like to read it. It sounds awful.
I have the apply for an expensive bag no longer over 30. Skim the reading through this. According to an article on Gay Times, the traditional sixth drive LGBT plus flag is still the most generally acceptable to represent the entire community. It's the one we have. And it is the only one on the list. From the government, so the government published a list of flags that are flown without permission, and that is the one that is on the list. It's the one recommended by Gay Times. It's good, and I've got ideas I can find.
Well, that's very useful information. I didn't know that, but it doesn't, can we just agree, if your members are happy, we agree the list as it is. And if there's some reason why we don't fly for a month, it's entirely town council's decision how it flies its flags, and just take some advice for the next meeting and know what the outcome of that was.
There are about 20, I did look into.
I know there are lots of things of it, but that's the kind of combined ones that
Yeah,
come from there.
yeah.
I was going to say there are versions, all claiming to be
Okay, well, I think that we'll just agree that if there's any additional information about, we'll just have a note back to us from the next committee to know how long it will be flown.
Okay.
So there might be a reason on that list why it isn't, and we don't know.
Would you like a report back?
We
Yeah,
just
just a short
what was on the
report.
minute.
Just a short report saying why and what we're doing about them, just so that we agree it, and then somebody else comes back latterly and says, well, you've flown it for a month, you only flew it for a day last time, that we've got clarity that that's what we agreed. I think that's very useful. But because the list is different, isn't it? And I think we need to actually support it with facts, not and the government saying that, well, whatever we think about it, that's what it is. The members happy with that? Are we agree with that?
Did you want what the minute says? I haven't found it.
Pardon?
Do you want to know what the minute says as I found it?
Go on then.
Members received and discussed the written report. Members agreed the recommendation to fly the rainbow flag on the 1st of June each year to celebrate the beginning of Pride Month.
Right.
And then there's some more of that.
Okay, when was that decision taken?
June,
22, 20, I haven't got the day on, it's just a couple of
But
months.
more than 6 months ago.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Okay, so we can revise the policy.
Okay, well, we're not going to be flying it till June, so can we bring something back to regularise that? So we've got a minute number so that when people come in and say, why are you doing X, you didn't do it before, we've actually discussed it and agreed it, rather than just make it up as we go along. I think that's the most appropriate thing.
There is a big range, isn't there?
There is a lot.
There's a pan-romantic private.
I think you're very careful how you do it, some of those as well.
Let's do the right thing and let's make sure this council does what the right thing is. That's where we should be.
Let's do that.
And all the other people, that's their discussions can be around what we're doing, which will be the right thing. Okay, which brings us on to the action list, which I wanted to go on before, but was corrected by John. Is there anything on the action list that we need to discuss? The one thing is the cultural strategy. That's obviously going to go to the February meeting of the Buckingham plan. Might be something that we want to add to, or members who.
Sorry to interrupt you. That's when the focus group started in this year, 2023. There's still quite a
Long road in it.
still quite a long road there, yeah. But
So there's plenty of time to be involved.
yes, absolutely.
Because if you remember, we were discussing things like we wanted a space for performance-based stroke such and such and how it worked out and that type of thing. Is there anything on there other people are interested to make a comment on? I think most of it was done through the agenda, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Things are all good.
I don't.
Things are all good.
They're on go, yeah. Should we add, we'll have to do the, well, that'll be full council, but we did agree to ask the sovereign town, didn't we? Do you think we should put that on our action list in case there's things for us to do, or whether still we're better for a full council? Yeah, okay. That's fine, just as long as that'll be on that action list, so.
It's still gonna happen.
I was discussing this sort of thing with the Lord Lieutenant the other day, where I made a laugh actually, but yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, in which case, accessibility, this is a report I wanted to read. And make the recommendation seems to make quite good sense to me, but members got any issues with it?
Good idea.
Are we happy to agree that recommendation then?
Agreed.
Agree? Thank you. Then that brings us round to the other page which has gone over there. Which is climate action report. Are we happy to note that?
yeah.
Right. We've got one press release, which we've agreed. All the other press releases will go out as such. Did we have we done, we've done one for the River Rinse, haven't we?
Yeah.
We agree that once we finalise the Christmas light switch on, we'll do something around that because it is quite a big change and we need to not only do a press release, when the timing of that might be sometime in advance, I think. That's what you were saying, because we've got lots of things to get through first.
Yeah, so we stagger things so that they hit the press at the time that they want to talk about those particular kinds of.
So have we agreed that we'll do a press release on that? Is that agreed? It's a big change and I can talk about the dragon. Right, okay.
Sorry, was that a proposal there?
Yeah.
Seconded.
Oh, who's going to second?
Thank you. I need to be voted for.
Really? They were all very relaxed about it. They're all very relaxed about it, you see. Well done, Claire. It's all right. It doesn't matter. I won't get upset.
I'm sorry, but you.
No, that's what you're here for. Make sure we do things properly. Right. Chairman's items, I've just got one thing to say. The right expression. I attended the funeral at the church day for Bernie Marsden, what I will say is how very well it was attended. And what I picked up from it is clearly how faces I recognise from past it was so attended by quite people from the music industry, and there also was some people, senior people from the music industry which was I'd never seen in a funeral myself, that actually done pieces to talk about him. And he was like born in Buckingham, went to Buckingham School, groundsman, Buckingham School, became a famous musician, and went on and whatever. What was also nice about him, he didn't move away from the area. He became famous and stayed in the town close to the town that he grew up in. And apart from it, it's obviously very sad for the family, but it was really noted how well he was respected and people there. And also I think we ought to thank our town centre manager, because through her help, and we should minute it, we had a request to provide 2 swans which weren't up there, so the like 2 Buckingham swans, he was a Buckingham boy, and 2 swans were delivered thanks to the quality of our staff, and they went up there and they were commented on how people commented to me. That was really nice that was done. So I think we should minute our thanks to the town centre manager in the report and what she did, because it was done within her time off, and it was done within short notice. But if it had been sooner, it would have been better. But it was done with short notice. I think we should note our thanks to her, because he was off at the weekend and she facilitated that. And I think we should be very grateful to her, because it put the town council in a good note in front of the whole community and all those people. John.
I'm just top of my head, really, but as a tribute, and obviously we need to swear this from the family. But is it worth considering making one of our awards for sport, well, for culture and art and whatever, name it after him?
I think we would need agreement of the family.
Yeah, I'm saying, is it worth thinking about that as a possibility?
I
maybe having some offline conversations.
let's not agree anything, but allow some time to settle. And
now it's
far too soon. I think let's discuss it at a future meeting, and then in case, because he was involved in charities, which people don't know he was. He was involved in lots of charities that he did work for and play for, and he did lots of events which people don't know. I mean, I learned so much about the charity work that he did that he didn't tell everyone he was doing, which shows the quality of the man. And but yeah, I think that's something that we could discuss. Are you happy that
we've got a workshop on that coming up, haven't we, at some point?
Yeah.
It's trying to set a date at the moment.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, people would line the streets today to see the cortege.
Yeah.
Dozens of people.
Yeah.
I would say that I think really we need to speak to the family.
Yeah.
This is a public community. So
Okay.
Yeah, I think that will be a private meeting, because it might not be what they want to do. True. What we think is appropriate may not be. But I do think it's worth noting the bits I said about our staff being so supportive, and the fact that it was we should minute that in the minutes that a great loss for Buckingham, I think. Would we agree with that? In the sort of chairman's items, that it was a great loss for our town. That agree?
Yeah.
I think that's all we can really say. In which case, yeah. I was just listening intently. Date of the next meeting is on the 13th of November. Now we're going to move into, we're going to close this meeting. I propose that we go into private session. That's actually right. Places.
Okay, and then vote.
Right. All agreed?